Oh yeah, it's go time. Good afternoon, my peeps in the East Coast here. And today, man, we are going to break it down. I got my man Lewis here from beautiful Florida here. But today, man, recruiters, I got to tell you straight up, there's so much talent out there that you may be missing out on. And we're going to talk about that today. So, what's up, brother?
How's it going? All good?
Dude, I'm in the studio, nice AC, and you're out there in nature with a fan on you, right?
With a big fan pointing at me. Yeah.
Brother. Well, hey, let's just deep dive in, man, because I mean, we got a lot to talk about today. And, what we're hearing, and we talked about this a couple of weeks ago with the candidates, they're getting ghosted and stuff like that. And now on part 2 here, there's a reason why. So let's break it down, man.
Awesome. So, couple of facts that we found, and for some of you that don't know, I ran ASAP Services, a recruiting firm in South Florida, for 23 years. We got 20,000 applicants on a yearly basis, and we made 120 placements. Right. Damn. So, what are we doing with the other 19,880 candidates that were not placed? We're definitely not talking to all of them. I didn't have what would be like 500 recruiters to get to talk to all those 20,000 people on a yearly basis. It's unsustainable. We can simply not talk to everyone.
And you know what? Let's just go back here. So, I feel like so many times, 500 people apply. How many people they're getting ignored, filtered out, even before their resume goes in, and boom, it goes in the black hole right off the bat? I mean, there's a concern for me on that.
So we backtrack data on 100 jobs, and what we found is that between 95, 97% of candidates are completely ignored or dismissed from that initial filter that we pull. Now, the interesting part of it is not only that, is that we were, and we are still in 81% of cases or situations, we are dismissing the best candidate because of a missing keyword.
Man.
Okay, so here's a quick example on how we train our team to notice that and to be aware of the keyword filter risk. Right? We ask our recruiters. We set the exercise and we said, okay, everyone, training exercise. We're looking for recruiters to expand our team. We want recruiters who have used Salesforce and LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. That's the 2 keywords that we're using is Salesforce and LinkedIn. In our firm at ASAP, we used to run with Salesforce. Now, the third filter was, okay, let's focus on candidates and people who comes from ASAP Services. So the logic and the reasoning would be, okay, so I'm going to be seeing all my colleagues listed here, right? And the reality is that less than 30% of the colleagues or the teammates were showing up. The reason, they didn't have either LinkedIn or Salesforce in their LinkedIn profile. So they were missing. We're filtering them out. Even if they're the best producer, top producer in the company, we're not seeing them because of keywords.
And this keyword thing is, it's something that we got to talk about, because I got to tell you, how it is. If you don't put this keyword in, dude, you could be the best candidate and you're just sitting at the sideline. I mean, this is something we have to bring to the top, where I think a lot of people saying, well, there's nobody out there that wants to work and there's not enough candidates out there. There is. We're just missing a beat with this broken program right now.
There are plenty, and we see it. We see it on the applications. The sad part is that in many cases we think that candidate is not good because they don't have this experience. The reality is that we don't know if they have it. They don't have that keyword in the resume doesn't mean that they don't have it, right? A common example on white collar searches is in accounting or in finance, right? 5 years ago, every recruiter used to search for Excel as a keyword. Guess what? Anyone in middle management up, they don't have Excel anymore.
No.
It would be it would be adding like something that it's pretty basic to the profile. So they don't have it. They're not showing up. Keywords are tricky. Some platforms are smart enough to get some context and do semantic search. So if I'm looking for candidates with experience in LATAM, it will understand that Latin America is the same thing as LATAM, and I will get candidates from both. But if a candidate has experience in 3 different countries in Latin America and they name the countries, they'll be excluded. They don't have experience in LATAM. They only have experience in 3 countries, even though those are the 3 countries where I have operations in Latin America, right? So systems are not that smart yet.
And it's wild because I see candidates now, Luis, that they're actually having they have 50 different resumes, one for each job, because that's what you got to do. You just can't send a generic resume out and expect somebody to call you back now.
Yes. Now, I do believe that there's a reason for that. And I do believe that should be the right way. The resume should tell us, should tell the company, the recruiter, the recruiting team, hiring manager, why am I good for that particular job? Shouldn't be generic on here's my skills, anyone who need it, right? We're talking about a job market or a job driven market. There are a lot of talented professionals out there, and if they want to shine out and they want to be seen, they must have customized resumes for every job that they're applying.
You summed that up. And I think a resume is, you have to tell your story on a resume now. It's not putting down skills and I went to this college or anything like that. There's got to be bulk there, that there's a curiosity why they want to hire you or bring you in.
Yep, definitely.
So here's something I got to talk about. And you know this, the slow screening process. I've seen candidates sit there and they say they take 8 weeks to apply for a job, and this is light industrial. We got a problem here and disconnect here. Tell me what your thoughts are on this, man.
So here's a crude numbers, and the raw numbers on that is that 25% of our population in the US have zero savings, meaning that they live paycheck to paycheck. If they're out of a job on Friday, they have no food, no savings, no dinner on the table for their families on next Monday, right? So they need a job. They need to move fast. And if we take a full week, 4 weeks, 5 weeks to reply to them and to get back to them, they're gone. They move on to the next available job, the one that moved faster, or the one that needed them the most, whatever it is, they're gone. They're not ghosting us. They move on and they found a better job, or probably not even better job. They found a different job that was within their time frame. Again, 25% of U.S. labor have zero savings, and in the light industrial market, that number probably is a little bit higher.
So true. And I think we got to understand is the recruiters have to understand that, we are working on a job seeker's timeline. It's not the recruiter. They think that this candidate's waiting around with one recruiter. They're calling anybody they can. They're like in that survival mode to get a job.
Yeah. And again, let's go back to that example, right? They were let go, or they don't have a job on Friday. They applied on Friday to a job, and we're getting back to them Monday after our coffee and after our meeting and after the small talk about the weekend with our colleagues, and we're getting back to them on Monday afternoon, right? Again, they moved on. They needed to bring dinner to the table that night.
Yeah, they're gone. Bye, Bertie. Out of here.
Yeah.
So true. Okay, so something else I want to deep dive into here is like AI interviews. This is something I think, a lot of people are still scared. Recruiters are not going to lose your job if you know what the hell you're doing. But at the end of the day, AI interviews for sourcing, I mean, that is where we're going in the future here, is because anybody can apply for a job at any given time.
Yeah. So there's many advantages, and I'll go back to that same example. The person sent us the resume or a text message at 6 p.m. on a Friday afternoon. We get that message. We invite the candidate to interview immediately with AI. We now have their skills, their competencies, what they're good for our jobs or for any of our openings at the moment. So we're meeting the candidate when they are available, not when we are available. So AI allow us to do that. Now, at the same time, it allows us to go much deeper than the keyword filter. And I'll go back to that example on the recruiters and keywords when filtering out recruiters, is that now with AI, or platforms can ask the candidate, hey, I saw your application. Thank you for your interest. I noticed that you work with several ATSs and you work with several CRMs. Is Bullhorn for Salesforce one of them? Have you used Bullhorn for Salesforce? How do you use it? What capacities, what tools have you used within it, right? So now we're not filtering out the candidate because it said ATSs or main ATSs. We now know that this candidate has a particular skill and the particular software that we're using because AI asked. Something that our recruiter would just filter them out, search for Bullhorn for Salesforce, doesn't have the skill, not getting the call, right? Now we are getting that information so our recruiter can go back and say, okay, now I do have a list of people who actually mention, describe how they use LinkedIn for Salesforce or Bullhorn for Salesforce. And now I have a better picture of my applicant pool, who to call, who have the skills, who doesn't have the skills.
You summed it up there. And you know what? See, 100 applicants. There's no way a human recruiter can cover all that and scan everything that the qualifications of a person has, which AI can do that. I mean, AI can pick out everything if you put in there what you need for this perfect fit.
We work at ASAP. We worked in middle management or management direct hire, and our top recruiter would make between 25 and 35 screening calls a week. They had full interviews on a second round and all that, so their time for screening candidates allowed them to talk to 35 candidates at the most, right? If we're talking about 100 candidates, it would imply 4 weeks. And we go back to that point, our candidates don't have 4 weeks to start the process. Just to get that initial call and say, hey, Shark, I saw your resume, you're invited to an interview or first round interview next week. Right now it's 5 weeks from my application date. And that's an easy number, right? Mr. Beast posted a recruiter position about 6 months ago. Within 24 hours, they got 35,000 applications.
I think I was one of them, by the way. I'm just joking. Who doesn't want to work with Mr. Beast? Come on, man.
For sure.
Hey, so what I'm saying is here, like, I gotta tell you up straight up, is like the AI sourcing and the AI interviewing is part of the hiring process now. And I think if you do it right, you have more time for that human connection at the end to get all the facts. So when you talk to that person, you have everything laid out there that you can have a great engaging conversation.
So you have the opportunity to engage with vetted candidates that have been assessed on their skills and all that, instead of calling 100 people and saying, do you have Bullhorn for Salesforce? No. Okay. Do you have Bullhorn for Salesforce? No. Okay. Do you have Bullhorn for Salesforce? Right. Now we know exactly who to talk to, and we're not spending and wasting 5 hours a week, 10 hours a week, screening candidates that do not have the skills that we need. Now we can take, and we will take those 10 hours to put back into a process and have meaningful conversations with those who actually have Bullhorn for Salesforce skills or in their skill sets. When I hear that AI will replace recruiters, I think same thing as when I heard back in 2008 and 2007 that LinkedIn would replace recruiters. It's not like that. It's a tool. It's a tool that we're using to understand better who's out there in the market, to understand better our applicant pool, to understand better the data that it's in front of us. It's not to replace us. Even still with the top AI interview platforms, we hear from candidates.
Mm-hmm.
Is this it? Do I get an interview with a real human being? It's part of the process. It's an expected process. I do believe that we are hiring humans for a reason. So we do need to have a human in the loop in the process. Recruiters should interview candidates, and hiring managers should interview candidates. And look, all of our clients in the staffing industry, they have recruiters, in-house recruiters, right? And we're not cutting their jobs because there are staffing agencies out there. We're doing pretty much the same thing. We are pre-screening candidates, we're vetting candidates, and then we're telling them these are the best candidates that you can invest your time in. So AI is now doing that for us, so we can provide even better candidates that to our clients and say, these are not the 4 best candidates that I get to talk to on the 7% that I didn't filter out. These are actually the best candidates you can talk to. And by the way, we cover the entire pool of candidates with our system and platform. So we know for sure now.
And you know what, Luis? Anytime there's change, we have fear, and that's what we're in now. With AI coming so quick, everybody in the recruiting staffing industry is fearful because they're like, oh my, it's going to take my job. And you know how it is. Negative drama flies everywhere. So, at the end of the day, I got to tell you now, talking to candidates, give me some insight on this. Do you think candidates are adapting to the AI process right now for hiring?
So what we've seen is that given the right tool and the one with less friction, they accept and they use. And one statistic that I can share is that video interviews that talk to my AI avatar or send me a 2-minute video immediately drop the conversion on candidates to about 3 or 6% at the most.
Oh, wow.
So from your applicants, when you ask them to send a video, that filter, or what you're doing is filtering out candidates that don't want to do that video, that they don't want to record that video.
They're like, no way, no video for me, baby.
And there's many reasons for that. It's not only about shyness or introverts, which is what the common comments are out there, but it's also on different realities, right? Again, I applied to a job and it's 11 p.m. at night. I did it from my phone on my bed. I cannot record a video because I will wake up my wife, or I'm unprofessional sitting on my bed recording a video, right?
When my boxers
or I'm next to my colleagues, right? And I'm for a job. I applied to a new job. I'm in front of my computer at work, and my colleagues are sitting next to me I cannot record a video right there in the office, and I'm definitely or very likely not gonna run to a restroom and record a video sitting on the toilet, right? So yeah, if the tools are available and the right tools are deployed and used, candidates will take those interviews. We've seen 86% of candidates replying to AI interviews via text, and that's the highest number that we've seen.
Good deal. And you know what? It's always that option. If you want to be on camera, give them the option. It's not going to affect you for the interview process. Let's keep moving through it.
Yeah.
All right, brother. So an exciting time. So we're going to wrap it up with this. So let's talk about the AI interview smart agent that you guys have with your company and stuff like that, man. And what's going on? Because from what we all talked about today, we need something to fix this. So give it to me, man.
So ISA, the interview smart agent, is the agent that we created at THEIA, pretty much to meet the candidates where they are. We give them two options, and is to interview via text and via voice. And we took a different approach. It's not the fixed questions that we want to know about the candidate. We actually deployed an agent that interviews and runs a full first round interview with the candidate. What it does is it reads the job description, it reads the resume, and based on that, it has two missions. One is to validate the skills that we need that are shown in the resume, and search and uncover those that are not mentioned in the resume and that we need. Do you have experience in this particular software that is not mentioned in your resume? Have you managed a team of 5? Tell me about your tell me about a situation when your team did this or had this situation, right? So our agent is able to understand and go deeper on not only the technical skills, but also soft skills, communication skills, and so on. So now our clients are not filtering candidates and saying, okay, who have communication skills? And we have that drop-down menu. I want candidates with at least 4 out of 5, right? Now we can ask our agent and say, hey, I want candidates with this style of communication. Or can you compare the communication style between my top 3 candidates, because it's a management role and that is important to us, right? So it's moving from flat 2-dimensional filters to actually understanding the human on the other side.
Man, I love that. And my famous slogan, no candidate left behind. Everybody is going to be basically interviewed and seen.
That's the whole purpose. No more 81% of the best candidate being ignored and dismissed. We'll know before inviting candidates to the first round of interviews.
So if that candidate's in the basement, guess what? With your solution, they'll be at the dinner table being interviewed right there.
That's the idea.
That's it. Hey, and we're going to deep dive into this more next time, guys. So, in about a couple of weeks, we're going to loose back on here. We're going to deep dive into with a little quick on-site demo. He's going to show us some of the figures and stuff like that. I'm excited about that. But before we go, we got a question here, man. All right, you guys ready for this? Russell Grant, shout out. Are you guys following the Workday lawsuit at all? It appears that there may be thousands of qualified candidates that were auto-screened out by mistake. Wondering if you could comment, please. I'll let you take it, brother.
Of course. So the Workday lawsuit. There are several points on that particular lawsuit. One of them is integration of social media into the process of screening out candidates. The second one is that they also use location of candidates, which again, going back on protected classes, could infer on the neighborhood that you live, race, or economic status. So there are several components that trigger that lawsuit. They also launch on a massive scale their platform. So when I do also believe that on that bigger stage, when you want to focus on something, you'll find that little something. I think the important aspect for staffing companies and for companies using these platforms is that the lawsuit is to Workday. They're suing Workday, and the candidates are suing Workday. They're not suing the staffing companies. They're not suing the companies that are using Workday. So again, this and I bring this up because it's a liability mitigation, not to develop your own, but to go with a third party. Let them absorb some of that fire and some of that hit. It will happen when companies get big enough as Workday. Some of the findings are real. Some of the findings are not. I think I think that they're trying to do their best to show up the best candidates. I think the way they did it wasn't the best one.
There it is, man. From the expert right there in Florida, man. Thank you for that, man. You explained that very well. And by the way, the smart agent, what's its name?
It's ISA, Interview Smart Agent.
So next time, ISA? Is that what did you say? ISA?
Yeah.
ISA. So get ready, guys. In about a couple of weeks here, we'll be talking to ISA and checking it out there. I got to tell you, Luis, hey, thank you. It's always a pleasure, man, talking to you, man, with the insights, stuff like this. And I tell you what, we are going to do our damnedest to fix this broken recruiting process, man. We're trying our best, man, and we're going to make it happen for everybody out there, man.
Will do. Thank you very much for the invite.
All right, guys. Hey, take care. We'll see you soon. Remember, hire everybody.